That's something we're looking forward to.
Absolutely. And,
Yeah.
I love this chapter too, because speaking of developing spending discipline, it's not just the big main spending plan that you develop. It's funny because it reminds me of mitigating taxes in retirement and so many other things. You're building small
Yes.
things. Like your book, The Fine Print Fiasco, is what I'm thinking of right now. One of your early books. So this is one of your
The
latest.
second book I ever wrote.
Second book you ever wrote. But it discussed those core aspects of focus on little things here, and here, and they all build up into something rather, something you could be proud of.
Well, mountains didn't get built overnight. It takes, like when you build sandcastles, it took a bunch of buckets of sand to get a big castle. But I mean, without that first bucket, you didn't have a chance of the castle. And so the better the foundation, the more secure it was too. Take the same approach in the financial world. Firm foundation, lifetime income, put you in control, minimize or eliminate fees, commissions, expenses, and too much risk. And as we get into retirement, we want to be in control of our money, not our money controlling us. And we help people with that every single day. Approach retirement on your terms. We can help you. Thomas, the numbers are on the screen there. You can see that. The book will help you get
that confidence, folks. Call Coach Pete and his fiduciary team. As he said, the numbers there on the screen, and we will see you for Chapter 6.
Hey, I'm Coach Pete DeRuda, president of Capital Financial. Folks, the financial world is very, very confusing. That's why we put together a series of educational videos called webinars. You can see them at any time by signing up at CoachPete.com. We'll see you there.
Everybody's putting their money in 401ks, but long term, that can be a problem.
Well, a lot of them are orphan 401ks. Yeah. What that means is you work for a company. People don't work for a company 30 or 40 years these days. They work for a company for 4 or 5 days, sometimes, or 4 or 5 years, and then to go to a different company. So they leave their 401ks behind. So we call this splintering or orphaning. So what we've done is we open up a super IRA, and we roll all the different 401ks in there. Now you have them all in one place. And there are a lot better investment options when you have the own personal IRA than the 401ks. 401ks usually give you maybe 10 to 30 different options. Whereas your own super IRA, you can have 5,000 or more different options. So you have a lot more choices. You can even build guaranteed lifetime income into your IRA that way. You can't do that in 401ks.
Absolutely. And another way to play the crypto is you don't have to actually do the coin thing. There's ETFs now where you get full exposure to it without all the hassle of.
That's the best way to do it for the average American who doesn't want to worry about it, because Fidelity has one, BlackRock has one, IBIT is a good one. There's some other good ones. There's even ones for Ripple and Ethereum if you don't want just Bitcoin. There's ones that have a collection, like a basket of them. So check with your financial advisor or do your own research. I think a lot of financial advisors may try to shoot you down again because they are maintaining the hold of your money in their managed accounts. And if you leave them with money, it's going to be less money they can manage, less money they can charge you on.
Well, and let's be clear where I stand on it. I'm not saying put all your money anywhere. I say 1 to 3%. Some people say 5, some people say more. I'd say no more than 5 as somebody who's
just like physical silver and gold.
Just a small amount, because the performance can be so high, it can help the entire portfolio.
And again, if you just put a little bit in there, if it does go away, you didn't lose the fortune.
Right. And now there's even a Bitcoin short. So if you don't believe in Bitcoin, you can buy something that if it goes to zero, you're like your million headed out to zero. So and just once Bitcoin went up, what is my risk? My risk is that it goes back down. And so I bought some of the short just to hedge against it going down. I hope it goes to zero, I hope the hedge goes to zero. But if Bitcoin goes to zero, I'll make.
So you're protected on both sides.
On both sides.
That's when once you start winning the game, you win the game, and you're winning Monopoly, right? You have Park Place and Boardwalk right now. You can build all the houses you want.
Right.
Hey, it's Amanda, and I'm back again with my friend Coach Pete. Coach, everybody I know has a side hustle. The biggest thing for me is, why are we not treating the side hustle like our retirement? We need to be throwing money into our retirement. We're working harder to try to make that extra income, and we're just spending all of it. We're not even putting it in our retirement. Why?
If you have a side hustle, like a second job, every single penny of that should go to a place that's going to benefit you and your family in the future. And the best way to do that is to put in what I call a time capsule account, which will grow and not shrink. So it'll grow it'll share with the market, but won't go down when the market goes down.
When the money comes in, you put the money in your retirement account,
Yep.
and then you pay everything
Well,
else.
what's a retirement account? See, the confusion these days, and it's widely known that a real retirement account is going to give you lifetime income you can't outlive and can't go away. But yet Wall Street tells you they have a retirement account that'll give you this magic return. And you put the money in, and all of a sudden you start losing money. And you have fees. And all of a sudden the money's not there. So have a plan. And the plan needs to be a long-term plan, like your whole life. What do you want to do when you retire? Where do you want to go? How much is it going to cost? Let's put a plan together that will fund that for you so that when you get there, you don't have to ask permission. When we were little, we had to ask permission. When we're older, we shouldn't have to ask permission. But if you don't have money, you're going to have to ask permission.
It's going to be
You're going to
hard.
have to ask the bank, can I please have some money so I can go on to a vacation? And the bank will say, when are you going to pay it back? So again, it's all about having the plan that's designed ahead of time to put you in charge and in control of your retirement.
Jackson just turned 3. Can you believe that?
Happy birthday.
3, and I feel like it flies by.
It does.
Every single year.
You talking to me?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. And you talked me into, setting up his account, and I did set up his 529.
529, yep.
But I need to get back on track with some other things now that, hey, school's back in. Year-round's already back in. Regular calendar's about to go back in. So how do we get back on track? How do we set this up?
Yeah, it's about having a routine and a positive routine, a routine that'll get you in control. It takes about a month to form a good routine. It takes about 1 day to form a bad one. So the good routines are putting money aside for retirement, making sure your money's going to be there, make sure it's growing now, and make sure you can have a lifetime income from your money and know what that income's going to be ahead of time. Now, that sounds like a lot of steps, but we do that for every single one of our clients, and I've done it for the last 33 years.
What do I need to do to have that backup college plan for Jackson?
Yeah, well, my daughter Carrie, I've had 2 529 plans for her over the years. So a North Carolina one and a Utah one, and she's using the Utah one. She's going to University of Alabama, and that's not a cheap place. So lucky for her daddy put some money aside. But there's more to life than the 529 plan. You could put money in your 401k plan and then borrow against it to fund your college education for your child if you wanted to. I don't really
Ooh.
recommend that. I think
Yeah.
you're better off doing the 529 plan, having something that's segmented and that's destined to go to education instead of saying, I want to rob my retirement so my child can go to school.
Recently we went on our bucket list trip to Montana, and I met this couple, and they told me that they travel in the country, and they were well into their 70s. And I'm like, how in the world do they afford to do that? And I thought
Right.
about it. They played their cards right. They
Yeah.
retired because they invested and they did it the right way.
Investing is one thing, but what I've seen a lot of successful folks lately, they have a tax plan. So that's why I just wrote the book, The Tax Savvy Retirement. Doesn't matter how much money you have if Uncle Sam's stealing it all. So let's design your retirement money in a way that you will benefit more than Uncle Sam will.
You are right here in Apex, North Carolina.
Yep.
This is where you're located, and you can come visit. I mean, literally, he's a North Carolina man.
Amanda, I've noticed an alarming trend lately where a lot of advisors from other states are trying to use AI and use a lot of advertising to get people to do a Zoom meeting with them, and all of a sudden you're sending them a check to a different state. I would never do that. So we're local. Come see us. We have 27,000 square feet here in the Coach Pete land, we call it, at Apex. Come see us.
All right, Coach, what is the financial fill-up?
And there's the sounder. You remember when you're little, maybe you don't, some people do, being in the back seat. I remember being in the back seat of Mom's station wagon, and she'd go to get some gas. She'd pull in, and she'd hear. And then the guys would come running out. They'd check the oil, clean the windshield, and fill the car with gas.
Yay!
All for 49 cents a gallon.
Oh, I love that.
That was back in Wisconsin in 1974, right before the embargo and all that stuff that happened. Anyway, it's all about making sure that we have enough income, and that's why we started talking about a financial fill-up, because it has to be something that we can understand. And when you get to retirement, you understand the fact that your bank account magically fills back up every year. That's a financial fill-up.
Coach, tell me about this race car team that we're building.
Yeah, well, when you watch these races on TV, these are multi-million-dollar cars that are zooming around that track. Gigantic engines of the best of all technology. But what if you spent your whole life building a team, a race team, and when it came to race day, you forgot to order tires for the car?
Oh, no.
That's what's happening to most people these days with these gigantic 401k balances, or these retirement fund balances. They see a big lump sum, but they don't know what kind of lifetime income they can get from that. That's the tires on the car. And without the tires, the car ain't going where? It ain't going nowhere.
I thought I couldn't handle my own retirement.
Yep.
I'm just going to be honest because I'm a woman. But the truth is that anybody can call you and anybody can sit down and say, here are my finances. I need to set them up. Let's go.
I see a lot of people that just want to get their arms around what's going on.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times one of the two spouses handles that by default. Many times it's a guy. I don't know why, but that's what happens. And so I think both spouses need to know what's going on in their retirement accounts especially, but every account. And you need to learn it. Don't just ask your spouse. Learn why your spouse is selecting what they're selecting, so that if your spouse isn't here, you can still go forward and not be intimidated. All right. So we spend a lot of time with folks like this, especially divorcees or whatever. So we're getting them right on the back on the track.
I need a concierge service. Do you handle that?
Oh yeah.
I got enough going on.
We have a private wealth division for $10 million and up too. But what I spend my time most of the time on our second floor, which is for anyone who wants to get started with a plan, has a plan they're not sure of, had a plan with an advisor they don't really trust anymore, or losing money, whatever.
Yeah.
Or getting close to retirement and realizing your planner never put together for you a retirement plan. If you look at all your statements and you don't see here's what your monthly income will be in retirement forever, in other words, can't go away, you don't have a true retirement plan. And most of you listening don't. If you have a 401k, you don't have a retirement plan. You have a building instrument that's building money up for retirement, but it's not a retirement plan.
So, Coach, most people are just saving money.
Yep.
Building up, like you said, that instrument. They got that 401k, they're building up, but they're not seeing a growth on their statement every month that their money's not making money.
Yeah. Well, if you don't really have a true retirement lifetime income plan, in other words, getting income for life when you retire, not dependent on the stock market, it's almost like building a gigantic skyscraper, but not having any furniture in it. You're building, but you don't really have that income. The income is the only thing that's going to get you through retirement. Social Security, that's income retirement, but you have to have some more. So your 401k, we need to translate what kind of lifetime income you can get from that lump sum in that big skyscraper account you have called a 401k.
Yeah.
Let's see what kind of income you can get from that. My grandparents were working. They would work for 30 or 40 years for a company. They'd retire. The company would start paying them a check. That was called a pension.
Yeah.
Well, they took pensions away a long time ago. They said they went the way of the dinosaur, probably about that time. So now it's up to you to design your own income plans with the money you've already put aside. So that 401k, that big skyscraper with no furniture, let's make sure it's furnished. And that's by designing an income plan on the money you've already put aside.
The years are flying by, and I always say this to you. You need a good lawyer, you need a good tax man, and you better have a good financial planner. And that's what we have with you.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, it's all about looking at what my clients want. I'm serving my client, not the other way around. I wish Congress would realize that too. They're serving us, not the other way around.
Yes.
But we serve our clients, and we make sure our clients are protected and taken care of and have no worries as they approach retirement and go into retirement. We call that the financial red zone. So if you're in that financial red zone, which is 5 years out of retirement, I like to say age 52. Because I'm 59 now, and about 52, I started worrying about retirement. So I'm using the Coach Pete meter right here, and the Coach Pete meter says at 52 and above, you really need your own total retirement plan, which looks at what you have now and translates that to lifetime income for you and your family. So if you don't have that, you need it, call right now. We'll put one together for you, a total retirement plan at no cost or obligation.
Ready for questions and answers. This is fun. It's been women and money. If I say it too fast, I think women in money. But we're going to talk about some financial challenges that each of us have had. I have Miss Jana, Miss Amanda, I'm Jackie, and Coach Pete. Yay, Coach Pete.
Hello.
It's going well, don't you think? What a fun series.
That's
really
right.
fun.
A guy can't complain when he's surrounded by three beautiful women. can he?
Aw, flattery gets you everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Flattery gets you everywhere, and confidence in money gets you a long way. I think as I get older, I get a little bit more confident in it, and kind of wrapping up like what we talked about. It's just the hard stuff is what I call it. These are the hard things that you have to face through the stages, and you just have to. You have to approach it. You have to hit it dead on. And handle it. And once you handle it, you check in with Coach Pete once a year to go over your plan. And then your plan is doing its job all by itself.
There's a phrase I use, and when you guys think about it, it'll make sense. Confidence with evidence.
Oh.
So my clients are confident because we have evidence.
Yeah.
The evidence is they have a total retirement plan. They've got their long-term care taken care of. They've got all their bills paid for. They've got their estate plan handled. That's confidence, and they have the evidence. So confidence with evidence. And once you get that into that level, you're fine, and you're bulletproof almost, emotionally at least. If we can make your money bulletproof, your emotions get bulletproof too.
Even better.
Sure.
Confidence
That's
with
cool.
evidence.
Dice takes care of Amanda's anxiety.
Yeah.
Yes, we can put we're going to work with you. We'll get you all set. We
I'm
got that
just-
wedding to plan now. We're not going
Yeah.
to get in the way. We'll let you spend what you need to spend. But
Yeah.
then after that, we got to roll our sleeves up.
Buckle down.
So you got to have some fun in life. If you never have fun, then what are you here? So you got to have some fun, have some goals, but just know I'm glad that you feel a little guilty about spending too much money on the
I
wedding,
do.
because that's
I
a
feel
good
terrible
mentality.
about it.
If you don't care and you're just getting the credit cards out, you're gonna have to answer to them down the road. So
yeah, that's true.
but let's put a plan together. We'll be all right. You'll be okay.
Ladies, I was wondering if I could ask you both, do you feel some regret that you didn't know this stuff before you started working with Coach Pete a little bit?
I do. You know,
You're still young though.
I know, but where does
hard.
this leave me?
Yeah. I think it's hard because I grew up with friends who their parents had it figured out. Like I learned about a Roth IRA from a girlfriend of mine's dad when I was 18 years old. I'm
that's
like,
great.
what is a Roth? And then I started doing research and they were trying to tell me this. My parents didn't know anything about that. They were check to check, barely graduated, just working as hard as they could to keep a roof over our heads. So we didn't have those conversations at the dinner table when I was growing up. So I think the hard part was knowing like, oh gosh, at the time when I started my Roth, it was, I had to put $4,000 in a year and,
Fantastic.
and max it out. So it was like, that's a lot of money at that age. But, I just worked hard every month to divide it out and to max it out and said that was what I was going to do. But I think my regret is not sharing that information with other people coming up, because you just don't know what you don't know. And you don't also know if they're going to receive it from somebody your age. Like,
That's
are they
so
going to
true.
listen to you? I
We're
don't
putting
know.
together a course now. It's going to be a bunch of different pieces, but it's
Yeah.
going to be grade school, middle school, high school,
Oh, love that.
college, and after college.
That's
Where
what
they're
great.
gonna
Benefited
be
from that.
What to do financially. Even grade school. I mean, if you're in grade school and you learned about a Roth or a dividend reinvestment program, where,
Yeah.
you get your little, when I had a paper out when I was 10, I wish somebody had told me about a
Same.
Roth. I've been putting some money away
There you
instead
go.
of buying candy all the time.
Same.
But again, it's about knowing and knowing the right way to do things. And you're smart. You guys you're on the right track right now.
It's still tough though. I think
Yeah.
you're still always questioning, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
And what do I need to be? I have a 13-year-old brother. My dad had a midlife crisis. That's another story for another
Wow.
time.
We went there.
But I try to explain to him, I'm like, write down on a sheet of paper everything that you're spending, or he said the other day, like, I don't like the way we're living. And I'm just like, oh, okay. I'm like, so I made him write down like everything my dad spends. And I'm like, if you don't like your life now, like this is what you'd have to make every year to even be able to afford this lifestyle, then you better be a doctor,
Wow.
lawyer, or surgeon or something to be able to afford this. And I think that kids these days don't know where the money comes from, how the money gets spent,
True.
and
Yeah.
just what it takes to live. And I say, so to wrap it up, and what I was trying to say is the regret I have is not being harder on being more of a friend than a coach to the younger people in my life.
Yeah, but we're going to make it easier with that series. We're going to
Let's
come out
go.
workbook series for
But I
different
feel
ages.
you on will they listen to you? I feel like even in broadcasting, in general, and being in radio and having blonde hair, they never listen to me. They think,
Absolutely.
Well, I get the feeling people don't
Can
listen to me
confirm.
sometimes
Yeah.
too on air.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
our points are relevant and very important, and a lot of
Yeah.
people just ignore them, I guess, and think everything's going to be fine. Ignoring this problem is not going to make it go
No,
away,
right.
and financial problems get worse. Sort of like having cancer, it's going to get worse, not better, over your years.
Unless you take steps, yes.
Take a big step and address it and accomplish it and conquer it, and then put you in control.
I was the complete opposite of Amanda, and I still kind of am. I don't want to be bothered with the details. I really don't.
Just handle it.
And I have a lot of clients like that, Jana. They just want it done.
Yeah, I want it done, and I
Yep.
control so many different things in my life and my career. When it comes to this, I defer to the expert. I can't be an expert in everything, like you can't be in everything, but you are an expert in this.
I don't repair
And
my own cars anymore.
Yeah,
No.
and I trust you. And so I think I wish I had done my research earlier, and
Yeah.
it wasn't to educate myself on where to put my money and what to do. My education earlier would have been find a partner.
Yeah. Well, that's right. It's somebody you can trust, a teammate.
Somebody you
Yeah,
could trust
yeah.
where I knew
Yes.
let's check in once a year or twice a year
Yeah.
or whatever the thing is, because at different points in life I wasn't working with that much.
Yeah.
And I've been in sales forever, and I have huge years and I have okay years.
Right.
And I needed you many years ago to tell me on those huge years,
Where to put
it
the money.
away.
don't take quite so many trips.
Yeah.
And I had a lot of clothes.
But you have a lot of
and
good
Yeah.
memories
stupid
too.
stuff. I have
So
good
those are
memories.
priceless.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really, I can't be mad at you for
I
spending
know,
money
and I
there.
don't regret it, but I
Yeah.
can't imagine. I didn't start a 401k until I met my husband. His dad is a accountant and whatever, he's doing our taxes. He goes, "Wait, can you give me your 401k information?" I was like, "I don't have one." He goes, "Well, doesn't your company match?" Or I was
No.
like, "You know what? I'm not super sure, but let me look into that." And so I was 31 until I started a 401k.
Yeah, but at least
okay.
you started.
All right.
See, the
That's
secret
okay.
is to start. I don't care what age you are. It's to start. Start a 401k, start your retirement plan,
Yeah.
start your long-term care plan, start something today. Don't wait till next year, because next year might not come, and if it does, it might not be the best circumstances. So let's get things done now while the water's calm.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, you guys, I want to know from each one of you the financial challenges you've had or faced over the years and how you overcome it.
Oh, go ahead, Janet.
So what about you? How did you overcome your financial? What were they, and how did you overcome them?
You need a minute? I've got the worst one. Yours can't be worse than mine.
Go ahead.
It can. Go ahead.
I
Mine, I
racked up a horrific amount of credit card debt. And I was in my 20s, and I, like, we already said, I'm living the high life here. And I was wearing the clothes and the shoes, and it was a fraud because it was all mounted on a credit card.
Ooh.
And I didn't pay the balance when it came. I didn't even I paid the minimum, and that accrued. It just racked up. And one day I remember I opened the thing and I would have anxiety. And I looked at that number, and it was a 5-figure, and it was a big number.
It's like getting a report
and
card
I
in the
remember
mail.
thinking,
Yes.
oh my God, this is half of my income. What am I going to do? And it's, I'm getting a chill because American Express basically called me and was like, do you have any scissors?
Yeah, cut the card.
Cut it up. But that was my biggest wobble and embarrassment. And I didn't tell anybody because I was so mortified that I had let it get out of control that I didn't want to call Jackie and say, hey, I know you're smart about this stuff. I didn't want to admit it to anybody. I wanted it to die and go away.
What lesson did you learn from that?
Holy cow, if I can't afford to pay this credit card off this month, don't buy it.
Yeah,
if I couldn't pay it in cash, I can't pay it on a credit card.
Great lesson to learn. And I don't think you should extend a car loan any longer than 4 years, by the way.
I
We're
agree
doing
with
5,
that.
6, 7,
Yeah.
8 years.
Oh,
That's
72
crazy.
months.
So really, if you can't afford to pay cash for it, you really can't afford the car. But my max loan's always been 3 years. 3 years, because that's bad enough, right? But you see some of the folks, they're on their 4th car after they started buying overpriced cars, and they would drive for 2 years and then trade it in for another car.
Roll that
so now
negative
that
equity.
4th car has a value, let's say, of $60,000. Yet their loan they owe is $80,000 because
Oh,
it's
boy.
all
So
the
you're
other
paying
bills
all
on the
the
cars on there. So
depreciation.
be very careful about toys. Toys can get you in a lot of trouble, especially expensive man toys, we call them, like
I was about
cars.
to say, they think
but
toys
women
are for
fall
the
for that
boys,
too.
but
Yeah.
But clothes for women, makeup, clothes,
It's true.
bags,
Shoes.
Yeah.
we all. I have a daughter. I know she's 20, so I know exactly what you guys are falling for. And don't feel bad because Madison Avenue spends millions of dollars a day to get you to do the bad things you're doing.
No.
I was
So the
influenced.
secret and higher.
That's the tricky
And to get more
part.
rewards points. So
There
you can
you
be a
go.
credit card queen
Yeah.
by charging but paying off.
Yeah.
Charge it, pay it off. I remember the old Flintstones episode. Betty and Wilma got credit cards, and I remember them saying, charge it. They run to the store, and then Fred and Barney kept getting the bills. So even back on the Flintstones, they were saying, don't charge on credit cards.
Oh, that's
All right?
great.
What about you, Jackie? What's the new ones, or do you service old ones?
Oh, all new, the people
They
who
were
are
fancy, those
retired.
fancy bikes?
bikes, yes, and it was a great
Spent
business.
a lot of money on a bike.
Yeah.
these days.
and all that
they're
stuff. But he liked to trade some of the bicycles for other things, and there was a little bit of
Nose candy stuff?
I don't know if it was that or he just wanted to get a new car, and then the mechanic, right? And the
So he's doing a
mechanic,
barter
He's
system.
bartering.
Yeah, bartering.
it's called embezzlement, I believe.
Embezzle borrow.
Oh, gosh.
Embezzle barter.
Yeah, that's right. I just wish I would have known these things and had,
Right.
the separate and had a, you know what I mean? I
Yes.
wish I would have had a partner
how did
too.
you discover-
It's embarrassing to tell someone, parents-in-law, your own family,
Yeah.
whatever, that you've gone through this great misstep.
How did you
Right.
discover that he was doing this stuff?
And I told you the saddest story on here today. Upon his death at 39 years old,
Oh gosh, that's
Gosh.
so young.
7 days away from being 40.
How did he pass away?
He took too many of those funny pills that the doctor gave you, the oxycodone. Remember during the oxy time when
Gosh.
Michael Jackson and the the
How'd you
oxy.
meet him?
I met him. He was a ski patrolman.
Were you out there skiing? Were you a ski bunny?
Can we make this a whole separate episode? I feel like this needs to be.
insane.
I told you it was going to be the worst story.
Where were you? Were you skiing out in the mountains
in
somewhere?
Vail.
Oh, Vail.
Yeah, I worked for a broadcast network, and they allowed me to work in Vail. So
You know what just stuck out to me though is you used the same word I did, that you were so embarrassed. You didn't want anybody to know that you
It's-
had financial
and
issues.
we need to get past that because if other people hear the story, they won't do the same thing usually, right?
yeah, but that was a different era. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This information just wasn't available to me. I wish I
Yeah.
would have. And some of the things that you talk about, this lifetime income and all that, those savings vehicles and distribution vehicles are new and have really neato tires and
they're
great
great.
bells on the bicycle and ding dong. It's just some bells and whistles that.
Financial products
Yeah.
get better every year, just like new cars do. Like the 2020 car is not as good as the 20. Well, Jana, the 2025 cars are full of those bells and whistles these days, aren't they? So the financial products are better and better these days too. So if
Right.
you have an older product, 4 years or even 3 years or older, it's time for review because there might be some better ones out there. Plus, a lot of them I've seen lately have a lot of financial termites hidden in there. Those are unnecessary fees, risk, commissions that are embedded into your plan that you can't see. We can see that. So we can do an analysis for you. All right, for you.
Okay. Oh, gosh, there's so many. I think my biggest regret is not having the confidence to ask for a raise, and because you're paying yourself. And I allowed people that I have worked for 20 years. I've worked for so many companies, done so many things, sang at the bars in Nashville.
I love the Nashville bar scene. It's fun. They're like different bands everywhere. It's cool.
Real estate, wholesale. I've worked everywhere. And life experience is enough. You know, I hear some women say to me all the time, well, I've only been at this job 5 years. But I'm like, well, wait a minute. Overall, how long have you been in working
this field?
You're 40 or you're 50. Get what you're worth. Don't let them hit you down on that. And then use that money to invest.
Save it. Yeah. Put a plan together because then you can retire sooner too if you want to. You can either retire sooner or keep working and build up even more money. So that's a good problem to have.
Yeah.
Should I retire now and have a great retirement, or should I work longer and even have an even better retirement? So that's a good decision, A or B, right?
Yeah, A or B.
That's a good A/B decision.
Well, and if they're not paying you enough now and you say, I got to keep the job, then keep burner A on, start cooking on burner B, or burner C and D and E if you need to, and then figure it out. But don't, keep A going, simmering, but figure out what your options are. You always have options.
I like gas grills too, gas inside cooking. Now, each one of you's had a situation, and I know everybody watching probably has at least one. So come on in and let's discuss yours and let's iron that out and get you on that right path.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, we'll see you next time we do a series, folks. This has been a fun series. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so
thanks
much.
for coming. And Jackie, as always, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you sometime, folks. Give me a call. Let's get these books in your hand. Let's get knowledge in your hand. And more importantly, let's get your life in your hand.
How much of your Social Security income could potentially be taxed? If you know the answer to that, you could be the recipient of one of Coach Pete's free books. Isn't that right, Coach?
Yeah, we've got 2 books we're going to give away. You get your choice. You either get the big book on retirement, which is over 300 pages, one of the newest books I've written, and the absolute newest book I've written is Tax Savvy Retirement, over 200 pages to put you in control of the tax man before, during, and after retirement.
Financial planning today. You can go to 17 different websites and they're going to have their little section on this or that with their opinion editorials. I don't know if half the time they're actually written by an advisor, but let's talk fundamentals.
Yeah, very important. I mean, if you watch any sporting event, you can tell the teams that the coaches spent a lot of time making sure that the players understood the simple tools and techniques and then added to that.
That's good.
If you try to jump in like up here and you didn't learn down here, you're going to quickly fall back down. So building blocks, fundamentals, especially in retirement. What are some of the retirement fundamentals? Making sure you minimize your risk, minimize expenses, maximize what you're saving, maximize your income, have that autopilot where you never have to worry about outliving your money, and you've got at least that amount coming every single month for the rest of your life. It'll never be less, could be more. Knowing if you pass away, your spouse is going to be taken care of. Knowing when you and your spouse both pass away, your kids or grandkids are going to be taken care of. So there's a lot of different check boxes we go through. Nothing you really have to worry about. You can read about it in the book, or you can get your own plan done with us at no cost. But
and that's kind of the whole point of all this, isn't it? You know, we talk about financial planning. You can get into the weeds and know all of these terms and what's going on here or there. But at the end of the day, most people just want to walk on the beach, want to swing the golf club, throw the rod out there and try to catch something good, go flounder gigging, you name it.
Based on what I have right now, what are my expenses going to be? And of course, the income better be higher than the expenses.
Exactly.
And so if not, we could tweak that. And so that's why it's important to be honest when we talk about what do you like to do in a day, a weekend day. You like to play golf? All right, we need to put a price to that. Then we need to factor inflation in. What's that going to cost in 10 years? Oh, you like a cart? Well, a cart costs more money, right? So, you lose 10 balls every time you play. Well, we need to factor that in. So these are all things that we go through because you don't want to be surprised down the road.
Yes, that's right.
And so fundamentally, we go through everything and make sure that everything's in place.
There you go. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know, you got a great quote here from Jack Nicklaus talking golf. Learn the fundamentals of the game and stick to them. Band-Aid remedies never work.
No, duct tape.
Isn't that nice? Yeah, duct tape.
Yeah. No, I mean, but it's such a great solution that we have, there's no need to be cutting corners.
There you go. Yeah,
We
I
can
love that.
put you in control of retirement with the money you already have put aside, by the way. You're not going to have to come up with money. It's already there. Let's just make sure it's in the right place.
There you go.
That's all we do.
Folks, the time to act is right now. Connect with Coach Pete's fiduciary team with the information that you see there on the screen. Get your questions answered, but even more important than that, let's get that plan. Take that worry, as you like to say so often on your radio show, Coach. Take that worry out of living in retirement.
Yeah.
And folks, we'll see you for Chapter 7 here shortly.
Hey, I'm Coach Pete DeRuda, president of Capital Financial. Folks, the financial world is very, very confusing. That's why we put together a series of educational videos called webinars. You can see them at any time by signing up at CoachPete.com. We'll see you there.
Welcome back into our series on the Big Book on Retirement. I'm Thomas Lipscomb here once again alongside best-selling author Coach Pete DeRuda, having a great conversation with you here as we're walking through this series. And Chapter 7 is all about understanding the end game. And I like this because, you know, when it comes to retirement planning, something that you've talked to me about, Coach, is you want to understand an individual's dreams, aspirations, goals in retirement, and you can
Positive for you.
Exactly. And the end game doesn't just end or apply there. You know, I hate to bring it up, but one of our colleagues here, Bruce, had a friend who poorly took out funds from a 401k and didn't invest them back in and was hit with that huge tax penalty.
You talked about that on the radio show a couple weeks ago. He asked me a question from a friend. And
yeah.
You have 60 days once you take money out of your own IRA to put it in a different IRA, or you get that tax bill. That money becomes taxable. And so you got a 60-day clock. Or if you have it electronically done through a planning organization like us, it's done automatically. You don't have to worry about it. So the burden of proof flies on the institutions, not on you when you have an institution help you. Like that.
That's
so
good.
That's a big time bomb for folks if they do the wrong thing with money or your money in IRAs. When you take that money out, you're going to have to pay tax on it, unless it's a Roth IRA, which is tax-free. If you have a Roth and a regular IRA, then people say, well, which account should I start taking money out first when I'm in retirement? My opinion, if you got some money growing tax-free, keep it growing tax-free. Take the money out of the taxable accounts, keep that money growing tax-free over there. Because the good thing about a Roth or life insurance, when you pass away, that money goes tax-free to your next of kin.
Yeah, so powerful, so powerful.
It moves on tax-free, doesn't disappear. You know, that's good. And you don't even have to take it out if you don't want to.
No, it's true. Well, and we've just talked about a couple of situations here, but throughout this retirement transition, there are so many of these exit strategies that you need to have in place.
Yes.
Even into retirement, Coach, I think about laddering strategies, bucketing strategies.
Yep.
Technically, these have exit strategies at each point as well that are, you guys are always tailoring these, aren't you? Every now and then just updating, making sure everything's heading in the right direction.
32 years I've been doing this, Thomas. 32 years I've seen about any kind of situation you could ever imagine.
Yeah, I bet.
So that's why it's good to go, like when I go to my doctor, he's been around for a while, and so he's seen, no matter what I say, he's seen it before. He doesn't have to start Googling. You don't want your planner learning with you, in other words.
Oh, man.
And so we've seen the mistakes people have made, and our objective is to make sure you don't make those same mistakes.
There you go.
And, you know, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. But a genius learns from other people's mistakes. Yes. Well, we'll learn from other people's mistakes to put a plan together for you that makes a lot of sense.
Hey guys, it's Parker Holland here with Capital Financial, Chief Wealth Strategist. We always like doing case studies on the radio, and now you guys get a visual representation on one. So we're going to use real cases, of course, no personal information, but these are scenarios we put together for clientele that we're looking for that safe, reliable, guaranteed income, but also the legacy. So we call this a spend and leave plan. It means you kind of set up a strategy, live off the icing, don't touch the cake, and we're going to give you multiple scenarios of how these actually work. So for the first case study we had come in was actually a radio listener a couple months back. They were currently age 54 and 55. They were targeting retiring at age 60 for them both. Now, of course, when there's an age discrepancy, there's layover months. That's not an issue for us. We're looking at the year in which they're both turning 60. So we had about roughly $2.5 million in retirement savings. This is a combination of IRAs, 401ks, Roths, after-tax funds. So this is just kind of giving you a big picture lump sum. So we're not going into a lot of the tax planning here. We're focusing solely on the income yield. Now, the benefit of this plan is there is not a risk tolerance we normally assess. Most people say that you have to put your age inside of a retirement calculator, and that's the difference between what's at risk and what's not. So that means that the safety and the risk should be about a 55-45 split. Well, in this scenario, we based on what makes the standard of living work, what makes the income work. And in this scenario, age 60 mark, the spreadsheet ran out at 34 years, but these are the numbers we're looking at. That means that the income received, worst case, no matter what the market did, would start at $90,000 a year. So they put in $1 million, they waited 5 years, the 1.3 guarantee would produce $90,000 a year at age 60. That means, yes, they would spend down the account by age 94, but they would still be getting this income as long as one of them's alive. So to kind of recap that, they'd get $90,000 a year, and even if they hit a $0 nest egg, they would still be getting that income. Now, we all know we'd have bigger issues if there was 0% returns for close to 40 years in this example. So let's run actual market performance. Well, the market ranges normally between 7 to 15%. Now, a lot of calculators are going to do a calculation saying, hey, it averages 10% a year. Well, that's kind of the middle ground. And it doesn't do 10% a year compounded annually. It does 10% annualized over a 30-year window. So we're going to have years of 0, and we're going to have years as high as almost 50%, but it normally ranges between 7 to 15. So same scenario, same age of death. The difference is the income would start at $100,000. But the kicker is over.
This big game, every move counts. Plan wisely to win the match. Sidestep the unexpected and charge towards your goal. Navigate through the challenges. Retirement is your end zone, and the touchdown is within reach. A successful retirement is your championship. Let Coach Pete design your customized income game plan today.
All right, we are going to kick this off strong. Inaugural episode of The Wide World of Investing. I'm Thomas Lipscomb alongside Bruce Rosenblum, leading the charge, best-selling author, Coach Pete DeRuda. Now, Coach, how did you dream this show up, The Wide World of Investing?
Well, this is a wide world of investing, isn't it? You can invest in all sorts of things these days. When I was little, I had a coin collection. I still have it.
Yeah.
That's an investment. A lot of people invest in coins, Bruce.
Indeed.
You know, a lot of people invest in silver and gold.
We started tempting our children. My dad did actually with the 50 state coins, just to kind of start that process.
Collect them all,
Yeah, so it makes sense, doesn't it? All right, you invest. A lot of people I've talked to invest in wines. There's a big market. There's wine auctions at Sotheby's, the big old snobby auction firm, right? And then you can invest in bourbons, like Pappy Van Winkle, these kind of things. They go up in value.
Baseball cards,
what you
sports
do is
cards,
you
everything
can't
else,
open sports cards.
Yeah.
I mean, what else? Dominoes, Legos.
It's true.
You name it.
Legos for sure. Yeah.
Rock'em Sock'em Robots. If you have unopened one of those original games, like Hot Wheels.
Right.
Yeah.
Classic Hot Wheels.
There's that show on the Public Education Network, some kind of road show. They would go around antique road shows, and they would find different antiques. People invest in antiques. But you go to a lot of people go to estate sales to find things that people don't value right. You know, think about it. Have you ever had anybody pass away in your family?
Yes.
Have you ever had to go and clean the house out that they left behind?
I actually have a story to go along with that. My great aunt used to own a retail store in a downtown neighborhood here for years and years and years, and she dealt in collectibles.
Yep.
And so when she passed away, her children were able to go into these warehouses, as it were, and imagine lunch boxes from the 1950s or dolls from the 1940s, still in the box.
Yeah.
I mean, perfect condition. They've increased, 100 times in value.
Yeah.
Putting a value on things.
Yeah.
And here it is. When someone passed away, it's up to you. It happened to my wife. Her uncle passed away. And then your money investments basically mean you take your money and you give it to somebody else for some item. That's investing.
Right, sure.
So it can either go up or down. The person who is selling it to you is hoping that they've made money too. And they're hoping that when they sell it to you, it's going to go down in value, because if it's going to go up, they would have held it. Or maybe they need the money. So one of the things we're going to talk about here, we're going to concentrate on all different investments. We're going to talk about the stock market every now and then. We're going to talk about crypto. We're going to get CEOs on from different companies or people that invest in different areas that we've never heard of, and try to educate you as a general public of places that you might not even know that are good for investing.
That's right.
You might be sitting and feeling like you're in poverty right now, but you may be in a house that's loaded with things that are worth a lot of money, but they don't have much value to you because you don't really know what the value is.
Yeah, that's good.
So, right, Bruce? So one of the things that I've done here lately is I've been out trying to say to myself, how can I have the great first show for the Worldwide Investing Show?
Yeah.
And just came across my desk this company in baseball.
Sure, yeah.
So he said, what if we could VIP that experience? And we're going to end the show today with an interview that I just had in Wall Street. We went for the opening bell this past week and watched J.W. Roth ring that opening bell, and the stock symbol VENU has been launched. Let's go to that interview right now, and folks, we'll see you on the next show. Folks, it's Coach Pete here. I'm live on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange with Mr. J.W. Roth, who has just launched his public traded company, Venue. JW, welcome in.
Coach, it's good to be here.
You, man.
It's good to be here.
It's a fun day for you.
It's a fun day.
You rang the opening bell today.
We rang the opening bell. We opened the New York Stock Exchange. It's just funny, you know, when you're a kid or you grow up and you always think of the New York Stock Exchange and how you picture it.
Yeah.
Then you get in business and you start to dream about how, you know, where your company's going to ultimately go. But then to actually do it, to stand out there and ring the bell on the New York Stock Exchange, it's surreal.
It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing.
You look like a pro up there doing it.
Yeah, well, listen, I got him fooled. I got him fooled.
Now, all right, let's take a step back. Tell me how you got started in the business world.
Yep.
Let's do that. Let's do a quick history here.
Yep.
A couple minutes.
Yep.
Because that'll help, I think, folks that are watching. It'll help them understand who you are and why you're doing what you're doing now.
Yep. So, you know, I did not start in the hospitality or entertainment space. I'm the founder at Roth Premium Foods. My background is all agriculture and in building food lines. So Roth is a prepared food manufacturer, I think about the third largest in the United States.
Wow.
We build for almost every grocery store in America, and we do service every grocery store in America every day. Build between 100 and 150 tons of proteins for U.S. consumption every week. So that's what Roth does. Being a music nut, about 6 years ago, I sat down with my family and our partners, and I said, you know what? I've got another one in me. I want to go build another one. My son had been at Roth all the way along, was in a perfect position to just continue what we were doing there. And in fact, I tell people this all the time. He's actually, in a lot of ways, done better than the old man would have done. But it gave me the opportunity to then leave. I took a handful of my key people, and we worked out a transition plan. And over the course of a year or so, transitioned out my CFO and some of our business development folks and that kind of thing. And I started Venue. And the idea was, as a music fan, municipalities and built unbelievable experiences and unbelievable ambiance in stadiums now. So now when you go to a football stadium, you're not out there drinking a lukewarm beer, eating a lukewarm or cold hot dog.
Yeah.
You're going out there and you're enjoying club service and all of the things that go on with the stadium. I wanted to do that in music. So I started going around the country, hired Ryan and company to start putting public-private partnerships together. And this last summer, we opened the most premium amphitheater ever built in history. Ford Motor Company put their name on it. It's the Ford Amphitheater in Colorado Springs, Colorado. 92 fire pit suites, beautiful owners clubs. It's an incredible place. Today, on top of that, we have another $1 billion or so of construction going on throughout the U.S. in 5 different markets as we build amphitheaters. We're gonna do in music with those two guys, and I admire both Steinbrenner and Jerry Jones, what they did in football and baseball.
Yeah, amazing business people.
Unbelievable business people.
I've been to the Colorado Springs location, folks. Amazing.
Yeah,
the fire pits. Oh, just an amazing place.
It's incredible.
You don't even think you're at a traditional concert.
No,
anymore.
Ryan Tedder is interesting. You know, Ryan Tedder, One Republic, he stepped out on stage. He sold out 3 shows for us this last summer. But he stepped on stage and he goes, geez, I feel like I'm in Dubai. You know, all of the fire going on and the fire pits going on, and it's incredible. It creates an unbelievable vibe and an unbelievable ambiance.
Yeah. So I mean, this idea though came like, let's build amphitheaters? Or
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you said.
Here's what I said.
Okay.
I said, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of the venues that I go to, and they're terrible.
Yeah.
But I go to football games and baseball games, and I'm thinking, man, these are nice. I could do this. So when I left Roth Premium Foods, I left for one specific reason, and that is to disrupt the venue space in live music.
Disrupting, because some of the Major League and football places,
Yeah.
their video screens are better than the TV at home.
No question. No question. And the food is unbelievable. I mean, you have 5-star restaurants now in baseball parks. And so, we built a seafood and chop house in the Ford Amphitheater in Colorado Springs. It's a 5-star seafood and chop house inside of a music venue.
Now, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Instead of hot dogs and a slice of pizza.
That's right. That's exactly right. No more hot dogs and slices of cold pizza.
All right, so now you got the idea. Let's build big amphitheaters and let's let the people to come. But how did you get the financing in place? Because that's a big proposition. You see all the NFL teams and Major League teams. They have to really consider building something new these days.
I mean, it's tens of millions of dollars to build these, and so. Basically, there's three parts to my financing strategy. First is the municipalities have to participate. So 35% or so of all of the financing comes from the municipality. The municipality provides the ground, provides the tax incentives. They're a big piece of the financing. And then I go out and I pre-sell. I build the structure of my amphitheaters like a condominium building, where we own the condominium building, and then we pre-sell condominiums in the form of fire pits. And so about 35% or so of all of the financing for these come from those suite owners and fire pit suite owners. And then the balance comes from Mayor George Fuller. He's a forward-thinking mayor. He's a wonderful man. And he, in his way of thinking, he brought the city council along, and next thing you know, they're supporting it. We have great fire pit suite owners down there. Got a good friend in Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman's a Hall of Fame quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yes, he is.
He and I partnered on 8 as a sponsor at our venues, and then we're building the Aikman clubs, and so. We've just got really good partnerships, good sponsorships, and so at the end of the day, we have a financing strategy that works and works well, and it works good for our public company shareholders.
Yeah, that's a good question. So a lot of people, before they invest in the stock, they say, well, let me see how much debt this company has.
That's right.
How are you looking on that?
We have very, very little debt.
Yep.
We, over the last 8 quarters or so, 9 quarters, I guess, we've built a balance sheet of about $181 million. We'll cross $200 million and add $1 billion in 2025.
Is that a B?
With a B, in the net tangible assets. And so, at the end of the day, we are focused on our balance sheet, and as a result of public-private partnerships and mark-to-market valuations, we're gonna cross that number this year.
Now, someone who's just finding out about venue for the first time, and they say, gosh, how do we get an amphitheater like this in our area? What are the steps you've been doing, and where are you going next? Yeah, so, right now we're finishing up amphitheaters as we build down through the Tulsa market and Broken Arrow. We'll be in Oklahoma City market. We're building the Dallas-Fort Worth market in McKinney, which is an unbelievable venue. Getting ready to start our construction down in El Paso. It's interesting. El Paso is such an interesting market. People think of El Paso, but they only think of kind of north of the bridge, right? Listen, south of the business bridge is just as big of a market. Latin music has exploded. There you go.
It has exploded.
Yep.
And that market has exploded. And so at the end of the day, I tell people all the time, don't count El Paso. It's the #1 leisure activity in the world. In the world is live music. So bigger than baseball, bigger than football, bigger than soccer, worldwide, #1 leisure activity, live music. And it's most unifying. Think about this. Where else can a Republican and a Democrat and an independent all sit together and sing in harmony and be harmonized in whatever they're doing? Live music, right? Everybody, I don't care what if you're a Democrat, Republican, or independent, you know the lyrics to Hotel California.
That's right.
And you sit there and sing it together in unison.
Yeah.
And it's one of the only places that happens. It doesn't happen in baseball parks because there's 2 different teams and they hate each other.
Yeah.
And they don't happen in baseball, 2 teams and they hate each other.
Yeah.
Live music is the only place where everybody there is there for one thing, and that's to be unified in whatever band is playing.
It's amazing how you can have an album, listen to it over and over again at home, but then you go see that band live, And it's a totally different experience. It's so much better, isn't it? Live?
No question.
Yeah.
It is. Live music is I tell people this all the time. Live music, and everybody that's watching this has been, they know, it's a vibe. It's a feeling. There is an ambiance about live music you don't get anywhere else. And it's something that you tell stories about. Music, I can play a song, and it takes you back.
Yeah.
You can remember where you were, who you were with, and what you were doing.
Good point.
Because that's what music does. Music creates memories. Live music creates even better memories because you enjoy it with somebody else.
Yeah, and you've got the collective energy of everybody around you. I think
That's right.
resonating. We don't even know the metaphysics on that these days.
No
too, but I
question.
think the group mentality of everybody on the same side.
No question.
I mean, it just lifts everybody's spirits.
Yeah,
up.
no
It's-
question.
and
No
again,
question.
Album
Yep.
or live? Who
That's
doesn't love
exactly
live?
right.
So my next question is: do you ever see live music going away? Of course, that was
No,
a
never,
softball question.
never. Not in 100
Probably
years.
getting better and better, isn't
It
it?
does get better. Right?
Yeah.
There's a point, though. I think there's going to be a point where live music even expands. So live music today is usually enjoyed. We're together and we're at a venue. But I see the day coming where live music will be enjoyed virtually. Virtually in the sense that pay-per-view or live music events that's an audio.
Like a 3D room kind
like
of
a
thing?
3D room.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
see that coming someday.
Well.
We'll see what happens.